Hi everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today I am doing part 2 of the hashtag NOBOXARTBOX challenge. For part 1, all I did was lay down the acrylic paint that you see for the background. It finally dried, so I can work on this more now. I was tagged in this challenge by Weblight Dreams, and the original challenge was created by Jenna Gets Creative. I will be leaving links to both of their channels in the description box down below. I will also be linking the first part of this video. That first video talks more about the supplies that I am using and the box that I am recreating. Now to talk about this actual project. I decided to do a woman with some floating hair situation going on. It ends up looking a little bit like a troll doll, and I am completely okay with that. I started with using the ebony pencil to get the base sketch down. As you can see, my ebony pencil is quite well used. I have to use an extender, and I'm going over it with the blue marker. That blue marker is a Kuretake Zig Art Graphic Twin RB+F marker in a blue color. There is something I didn't quite plan for when I was working on this. I figured when the acrylic paint was dry that it would be completely fine to go over it with marker. I did not take into consideration how thick the acrylic paint is in some areas. And occasionally, depending on the marker, they do not want to hold on to that very slick, plasticky surface. I should have tried using a setting spray in between that has a little bit of grip to it so that I could use the markers a little bit more easily on top. And this marker does spread fairly well with a brush with a little bit of water. You can get some very watercolor-like effects with it even on the surface I am using. I might play with it a little bit later to see how it would react on watercolor paper. Sometimes you have to play around and make mistakes to realize what does not work and come up with solutions to fix it for next time. I've also noticed that when videotaping this, that the colors aren't exactly accurate on camera. This is the closest I could get. It looks more of a bluish green on camera. It's definitely more of a true neon green in person. I think it's just because of the color that, depending on the camera, it has some issues picking up accurately. I also scanned the background before I did any of the work with the girl, and it did not pick up on the neon segments at all, which apparently scanners can't do that very well. I looked it up. It has something to do with the color patterns that it picks up. The way it uses light to scan. Go figure. Learn something new every day. For the marker, I did try using both ends. I ended up using the smaller nib a lot more often than the brush style nib. It's just because it showed up better on what I am working on for this specific project. That, and it's finer, and it's a smaller item because this canvas is only 5x7. Sometimes using a larger brush tip on something of this size, especially when you're trying to get little lines and details, is not the way to go. Makes it way more difficult. Smaller nib is what I needed for this specific project. And I do end up cheating a little bit with this one as well, which you'll see a little later. I had to pull in some items that would not have come in the box we are trying to recreate. I liked how she looked with just the blue marker, but with how bright the background colors are with that layer I already have set up, it just does not hold as well as a black marker would. With the bright colors like this, I wanted the black to help her stand out a little bit more. I tried using the ebony pencil to do that at first because I know it can get pretty dark, and I tried using it for more shading. Because of that thick layer of acrylic paint, it just was not working as well as it could have. So the black marker gets pulled in, and it's just a Kuretake marker with a small tip. It's all in Japanese, so I don't know specifically what model of marker it is. Bringing in the black just helped her stand up against the first layer with those neon colors that I have going on. I wanted to be able to see her. Just wanted her to be visible. I actually like a lot of the effects that I was able to get with this too. I might try doing some more drip paintings like this, and maybe instead of using a marker like this using a black acrylic marker or even just white acrylic marker. I do pull in a Posca pen in white later to bring out some highlights for her skin and everything. I think using a Posca pen or some other acrylic-based markers would hold up better to this concept and this idea, and I look forward to revisiting this in the future. Even though some aspects of it didn't work very well, I think it is a concept worth revisiting, and sometimes you have to make those mistakes and play around with stuff you normally wouldn't in order to hit a different point later. You gotta mess up to get other ideas, and then improve on said ideas and learn from the mess-ups. And here is the white Posca pen I am pulling in for highlights. I have been using this Posca pen ever since I got it in August's sketch box. I probably won't be going out of my way to buy another white Posca pen. It worked for what I needed it to, but I prefer a lot of different kinds of paint markers to this. I like the Amsterdam acrylic paint marker in white. I love Liquitex paint markers and Crank ones as well. They're a little bit more expensive, but I prefer how they handle to this Posca pen. Heck, I even prefer the water-based Sharpies to this one. And I know everyone has their own personal preferences. Let me know in the comment section down below what are your favorite kind of paint markers to use. At this point in the drawing, she's starting to come together quite a bit more. I'm going between the white paint marker and the black marker to add some extra lines and just detail certain things out a little bit. I like this effect that she's almost floating. And because of the colors and the way the background is, it makes me think that she's floating in a lava lamp. I am using that white Posca pen to also pick up on little holes of the canvas that were left from the paint pouring. I just wanted to bring out those a little bit more and give an idea of bubbles. And I'm still using that black thin marker to pull in some more lines. So many lines. And then going over it with the white Posca pen to take away those lines again. Just shifting things back and forth. I wanted a lot of the shading lines to be fairly messy. I like having messy line work when I'm doing any kind of ink or marker drawing for the most part, especially when it's in this style. I think it adds some wonderful layers of texture and expressiveness to a piece when I'm working on it. I am also using the Paintbrush with a little bit of water to help pull up some of the ink and pull up lines from it into the background. I think she ends up looking a little creepy, but there is a bit of an etherealness and a softness to it, which that is a happy point that I like to hit with certain pieces, and I think this one is there. I do use the orange acrylic paint again to put in her eye to give her an orange looking pupil. I think that pulls in her with the background just a little bit more. After I had stopped filming, I realized that part of the shadows on the neck should extend up to the face, so I did that off camera, and here is a shot of the finished product. As I said earlier, this challenge was issued to me by Weblight Dreams, and I want to challenge every single person who is watching this video to do the NOBOXARTBOX challenge. I think you can take inspiration from items that are in art boxes and use either the same things you already have or stuff you own that's similar in order to create your own project. And with that, this video is pretty much done. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, please let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do want to take this moment to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble about art stuff. I will hopefully be hearing from you guys soon, and you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!